to the bread kitchen. A couple of people have contacted me asking about recipes for bread suitable for diabetics. Well, I've tried some of the recipes that are out there and either they don't really work or there's so much egg in them that you end up with something which can only really be described as a baked omelette. So I thought I'd have a go at making a reduced carbohydrate bread by taking half the flour in a normal bread recipe and replacing it with ground almonds. To 250 grams of lukewarm water, I'll add about a teaspoon of honey to help the yeast, 2 teaspoons of dried yeast. Mix all this together to dissolve the honey, then leave for 10 minutes for the yeast to get going. Now in this bowl I've got 250 grams of a strong wholemeal flour and 250 grams of ground almonds. I'll add in 1.5 teaspoons of salt and mix together. Make a well in the centre. Add in the yeast water mix, 50 grams of melted butter and 2 beaten eggs. Then mix. And what you'll get is a thickish paste which drops sluggishly off your fingers. I've got my favourite loaf tin here and I've lined the bottom and 2 sides with some grease-proof paper. That'll just help me get the loaf out. Scoop the paste into the mould, push it into the corners of the mould. Now I'll cover this and put it in a warm place and allow it to rise. I don't want it to rise to the top, otherwise it'll be very crumbly and have lots of cavities in it. So I want it to rise about half the distance to the top. Now while that's rising, let me tell you about a couple of changes you could make. If you don't want to add egg, use a couple of tablespoons of very finely ground psyllium husk. I grind mine up in an electric coffee grinder. And if you're not okay with adding butter into it, just add the equivalent amount of oil instead. After about an hour or so, it's risen to about 1 inch from the top. I'm now going to bake this at 190 fan oven, 210 normal oven for about 35 minutes. After 35 minutes it's cooked well, it's quite firm, so I'm going to leave it now for about half an hour before I try and get it out of the tin. And this is it after it's come out of the tin. It certainly feels like bread. I'll just leave it to cool before I cut into it. So let's see what this loaf's like. Well, that's not bad. At least it looks like bread. Makes quite decent toast too. Now, this bread may suit some diabetics and may not suit others. I guess to really know, you'll have to try it yourself. But it's worth trying even if you're not diabetic. Quite tasty. I hope you enjoy making your reduced carbohydrate bread, and do join me next time in the bread kitchen.